Did you know the iconic Lone Ranger might have been inspired by a real-life U.S. Marshal? Or was he? For years, people have claimed that Bass Reeves, a fearless lawman of the Old West, was the true inspiration behind the mask. But the truth about this claim is far more complicated and far more fascinating. Let's uncover the facts and the fiction behind this compelling myth and reveal who the character of the Lone Ranger was actually based on. The Lone Ranger galloped into the American consciousness in 1933, starting as a radio show before becoming a television icon. But here's the twist. The character wasn't based on any specific historical figure from the Old West. He was, in fact, a creation of writer Fran Stryker and producer George W. Trendle. So where does this connection come from? The answer lies in myth-making and modern reinterpretations. The real star of this story, though, is Bass Reeves. Born into slavery in 1838, Reeves escaped to Indian Territory during the Civil War. There he learned multiple Native American languages and developed survival skills that would later define his career as a U.S. Deputy Marshal. Reeves was a force to be reckoned with, arresting over 3,000 outlaws and surviving countless shootouts, all without sustaining a single gunshot wound. If you're thinking, that sounds like a hero straight out of fiction, you're not alone. But there's still no historical evidence tying him to the Lone Ranger. The idea that Bass Reeves inspired the Lone Ranger didn't emerge until decades later. Some have argued that his relentless pursuit of justice and his partnership with Native American trackers resembles the Lone Ranger and Tonto dynamic. But here's the kicker. There's no documentation, no letters, no interviews, no creator notes, nothing whatsoever linking Reeves to the masked hero. It seems this story gained traction more recently, perhaps as some sort of revisionist history. Not exactly a noble cause, and one that discredits Bass Reeves and takes away from his amazing accomplishments. Still, isn't it possible that Reeves was an uncredited influence? Let's explore that possibility next. Historical experts and researchers like Martin Grams Jr. have delved deep into this question. The answer? While Bass Reeves' exploits are undeniably legendary, there's zero evidence that the Lone Ranger's creators even knew of his existence. Instead, their inspiration came from Western pulp heroes and Hollywood stars of the era. Letters from the creators even reveal their vision for the Lone Ranger. They explicitly modeled him after actor Tom Mix, famous for his Hollywood westerns, and there is documentation to back this up. I've provided links in the description where you can read the letters between Fran Stryker and George Trendle, and none of them mention Bass Reeves. But here's the truth. Bass Reeves doesn't need a fictional connection to be celebrated. His legacy as one of the most effective lawmen in the Old West is a testament to his extraordinary life. So why does this myth persist? Perhaps it's because we crave larger-than-life figures, and linking Reeves to the Lone Ranger elevates his story to mythic proportions. But Reeves' real-life achievements, arresting thousands of outlaws and navigating the dangerous frontier, are far more impressive than any Hollywood script. Quite frankly, Bass Reeves doesn't need to ride the coattails of the Lone Ranger. His accomplishments are already legendary. So was Bass Reeves the inspiration for the Lone Ranger? The evidence says no, absolutely not. The Lone Ranger was based unequivocally on Tom Mix. But Bass Reeves' legacy as a fearless lawman of the Old West is far more compelling than any fictional tale could ever be.